The stars were silent. The void between them stretched endless, cold, and dark. An alien exploration fleet moved slowly through this quiet sector. Their ships were sleek, silver arcs of metal, built for long journeys. They had traveled far, charting new regions, searching for resources, and sometimes for enemies. This sector was supposed to be empty. The maps showed nothing but dust clouds and dead rock. It was quiet space, a place where no empire cared to go. For the alien fleet, it was routine work. Scan, record, move forward. But on this day, something unusual happened. The fleet's long-range scanner caught a signal. It was faint at first, like a whisper in static. The crew thought it was noise, some interference from the dust clouds. But as they listened closer, the whisper grew clear. It was not random. It was structured. The signal carried rhythm. It carried order. It was not natural. The junior officer on watch froze. His fingers hovered over the console. "Commander," he said softly. We have something." The commander walked over, annoyed. In deep space, something usually meant nothing. But when he heard the signal, his 4 eyes narrowed. This was a transmission. Old style. Heavy code. He tapped the console, running translation. The symbols began to shift. The message appeared on the screen. It was human. The commander's voice grew sharp. "Impossible. Humans cannot be here. They are too far. Their borders are weeks away." The crew looked at each other nervously. The humans were not unknown. Stories about them had traveled across the stars. A young species, fast learners, dangerous in war. They had fought before. They had bled before. And they had survived when they were not supposed to. But this space was far from them. No human colonies, no human ships, no human stations. The fleet should not be hearing this. The commander ordered full scan. Waves of energy swept the sector. The results came back, and the crew's stomachs tightened. There was a ship out there. Large. Silent. Waiting. The image appeared on the holoscreen. A dark shape drifted against the starfield. Its hull was black metal, broken by lines of glowing red. No engine light. No friendly beacon. But the readings confirmed it, a human warship. For a long moment, the bridge was silent. The crew stared, trying to understand. "Why is it here?" whispered one officer. "This is not human space." "Maybe it is lost," another suggested. "Maybe damaged." The commander shook his head. "Look again." The sensors showed more detail now. The warship's weapon systems were alive. Cannons powered. Missile bays loaded. Shields humming faintly. This was not a broken ship. This was not a lost ship. This was a predator, lying in wait. Fear crept through the crew. They whispered old rumors. That humans could appear where they should not. That humans never showed their true numbers. That for every ship seen, more were hiding in the dark. The commander silenced them. "We will hail it," he said. The message was sent. Clear. Official. A call of peace, a demand of reason. But the warship did not answer. No words. No light. Nothing. It just watched. The commander felt his throat tighten. Something about its silence was worse than open hostility. The warship could have attacked already. It could have spoken. But it did nothing. And that meant it was choosing to wait. One officer, young and eager, leaned forward. "Perhaps it does not see us. Perhaps its systems are weak." "Perhaps," the commander said. But he did not believe it. The warship had seen them. He could feel it. Minutes passed. The alien fleet floated in uneasy silence. Then, without warning, the warship moved. Not fast. Not aggressive. Just a slow turn. The alien crew held their breath. The human ship's massive hull rotated, and now, its forward cannons were pointing directly at them. It was alive. Watching. A silent threat. The commander's hearts pounded. He thought of calling for reinforcements, but the message would take time. Too much time. And if this ship attacked, there would be no time at all. The warship did not fire. Not yet. It only kept its guns locked on the alien fleet. Fear spread across the bridge like fire. Officers shifted in their seats, whispering in low voices. Some wanted to retreat. Some wanted to power weapons. Nobody wanted to be the first to act. The commander stared at the warship's glowing lines. He felt the weight of history pressing down. The humans were not supposed to be here. And yet, they were. The signal that had called them was no accident. No lost beacon. The warship had sent it. It wanted them to find it. The commander understood too late. This was not discovery. This was not accident. This was a message. A warning. The alien fleet had stepped into human territory, and now the humans wanted them to know they were being watched. The commander's voice broke the silence. All ships hold position, he said softly. Do not fire. Do not move. His crew obeyed, but their fear was clear. They all knew what he knew. The humans had appeared where none should be. And nothing about this was by chance. The alien fleet hung in silence. Engines dimmed, weapons cold, but hearts pounding. Across the bridge, officers stared at the massive shape of the human warship. Its black hull was still, its guns glowing faint red. All of them pointed directly at the fleet. No one spoke for a long time. The crew waited for orders, but even the commander sat frozen, his eyes locked on the terrible shadow before them. At last, an officer whispered, "Why is it here? Humans should not be this far. This is impossible." Another replied in a trembling voice, "Maybe it is only one ship. Maybe it wandered too far. If so, we can surround it." The commander's throat was dry. He wanted to believe it. But deep inside, he knew better. Humans did not wander. Humans did not drift into enemy space by mistake. If a human warship was here, it had a reason. The silence grew heavier. The crew could feel the weight of the warship's gaze, even though no words came from it. Some officers swore they saw faint lights running along its hull, like veins pulsing in the dark. It was alive. It was waiting. The youngest pilot on the bridge, bold but foolish, broke the silence. "Let me take a scout ship closer. If it does not move, we will know it is harmless." The commander hesitated. He wanted to refuse. But the pressure from his crew was strong. Fear made them restless. They needed proof, one way or another. "Very well," he said at last. His voice was heavy. "One ship. No weapons. Slow approach." The scout ship launched from the fleet, a small silver arrow gliding into the void. On the bridge, the crew watched in tense silence as it moved closer to the human warship. Every second felt like an hour. At first, nothing happened. The scout ship crossed the distance slowly. 50,000 units. 40. 30. Still no reaction. Hope flickered in the crew. "See," one officer whispered. "It is not dangerous. It is only old metal, drifting." The words froze in his mouth. The human warship's hull came alive with light. Bright red lines flared across its surface, glowing like fire. Its cannons shifted, moving smoothly, locking onto the scout ship. Then the scout ship's systems went dark. The alien pilot's voice crackled through the comms, full of panic. "Controls are dead. Engines offline. I cannot." His voice cut out. The small ship drifted helplessly, dead in space. On the bridge, officers shouted in fear. Some demanded weapons be armed. Others begged to retreat. The commander raised his hand sharply. "Silence." His voice was iron, though his heart raced with terror. He stared at the human warship. It had not fired. It had not destroyed the scout. It had only shown its power. In one moment, it had stripped their vessel of life. No blast. No noise. Just silence. A warning more terrifying than destruction. Whispers spread like smoke. The humans, they control our systems. They can kill us without firing. No empire has that power. The commander clenched his fists. He remembered the old stories. The wars of the past, when humans were underestimated. A young species, ignored by the great empires, until they fought. They fought like fire. They adapted. They learned. And when peace came, they vanished into their small corner of space. Everyone thought they were finished. Everyone thought they were weak. But here they were again. Stronger. Silent. Watching. The commander spoke low, almost to himself. This is not chance. This is not a lost ship. This is a message. His crew listened, their fear growing deeper. A brave officer asked, "Commander, what do we do?" "Retreat." The commander shook his head slowly. "If we retreat now, they will know we are afraid. If we attack, they may destroy us all. Either way, the humans will decide, not us." Silence returned to the bridge. Every eye stayed locked on the warship, waiting for its next move. Minutes passed like hours. Then, suddenly, the human ship's lights flickered again. A transmission. The fleet held its breath as the message appeared on the screen. It was short. 4 words. "You should not be here." The words echoed in the commander's mind like thunder. Simple. Cold. Final. The crew stared at each other in horror. No threats, no negotiations. Just a fact. A sentence filled with quiet power. "You should not be here." The commander felt his skin crawl. The humans knew where they were. The humans had allowed them to see this ship. The humans had spoken at last, and the meaning was clear. This was not empty space. This was human territory. The message spread through the fleet. Officers whispered it in fear. Soldiers repeated it in disbelief. Even the commander's voice trembled when he said it aloud. "Humans are here. Where none should be." The fear was complete. Every ship in the fleet now knew. They were standing on the edge of something far larger than they had imagined. The warship did not fire. It did not chase them. It simply stayed, waiting, its red glow burning in the void. The commander looked into the darkness around it, and a thought struck him like ice. If one ship could appear here, how many more were watching, hidden in the shadows? The fear spread deeper. Not just of the warship before them, but of the unseen, the unknown, the possibility that the humans were not only here, they had been here all along. And they were no longer silent. The alien fleet was silent, but their fear was loud. Across every ship, officers whispered the same words again and again. "You should not be here." 4 words from the human warship, spoken in perfect clarity, had shaken them more than any battle ever could. On the command bridge, the commander stood rigid, his eyes locked on the dark shape of the warship. Its red lines still glowed faintly, its weapons remained steady, aimed at the fleet. But it did not move. It simply waited. The commander's second-in-command leaned closer. "This makes no sense," she said. Her voice shook, though she tried to keep it firm. "Humans have no colonies here. No stations. This region belongs to no one. How can they claim it?" The commander did not answer at once. His mind was deep in memory, reaching for stories half buried in history. Old war reports. Warnings passed down from officers long dead. At last, he spoke. "Do you remember the Rim War?" The younger officers looked confused. Only a few nodded. That war had ended long before most of them were born. "Yes," said the commander, his voice low. "When the humans first rose. They were small then. Weak compared to the great empires. Yet they fought like no species ever had. They learned faster than we thought possible. They built weapons that should have taken centuries. They used strategies no one had faced before. One officer interrupted nervously, but they lost, didn't they? The humans were beaten back to their home space. The commander turned his eyes on him, sharp as blades. Did they? Or did we only think they did? Silence followed. A cold realization passed across the bridge. The humans had not disappeared. They had not grown weak. They had waited. The second-in-command frowned. If that is true, then this warship, it is not alone. It is proof. A signal to all who trespass. The commander nodded slowly. Exactly. They wanted us to find it. They wanted us to see. Another officer whispered. But why now? Why reveal themselves after all these years? The commander did not answer, because he could not. The question burned in his mind as much as theirs. But one truth was already clear. The humans were far stronger than they had allowed anyone to believe. On the far side of the fleet, a captain of another ship broke silence with a furious voice over comms. This is madness. One ship cannot hold us all. We have 20 vessels. If we strike together, the human will fall. The commander felt his blood run cold. No. Do not provoke it. But anger spread fast. Fear and pride mixed in dangerous ways. Across the fleet, some captains demanded action. If we retreat, we show weakness. If we bow to humans, our empire will never forgive us. Better to strike now than live in fear. The commander's hands clenched into fists. He knew the danger. He also knew his voice could not silence every ship. The humans had given a warning, but warnings often came before judgment. The second-in-command whispered urgently, "If one captain fires, the warship will destroy us all." Her words proved true faster than expected. A flash of light cut through the void. One alien vessel, driven by pride or madness, fired a lance of energy directly at the human warship. The bridge crew gasped. The commander shouted into the comms, "Cease fire! Cease fire!" But it was too late. The human warship moved. For the first time since its discovery, the black ship came alive. Its cannons glowed with burning light, brighter than stars. In one instant, a beam shot forward, clean, sharp, merciless. The attacking alien vessel never even screamed. It vanished in silence, its hull torn apart in a single strike. Where it had stood, only fragments drifted. The alien fleet froze. 20 ships, reduced to 19 in less than a breath. No words could describe the terror that filled them now. The humans had not missed. They had not wasted fire. They had ended one ship with terrifying precision, then returned to silence. The warship's guns glowed again, steady, waiting. But it did not fire a second time. The commander's chest felt heavy. His crew stared at him with wide, fearful eyes. They wanted answers, but he had none. Only truths too terrible to speak. The humans were not just strong. They were deliberate. They chose who lived and who died. The second-in-command whispered, "Commander, what do we do?" The commander closed his eyes. He remembered the words of the message. "You should not be here." He understood now. "This is not about territory," he said slowly. "This is about control. They do not guard space. They guard fear itself. They let us see this, so we will carry the story back. So others will know." His words sent chills across the crew. The humans had revealed their hidden hand, not by accident, but by design. The warship was not only a weapon. It was a messenger, a symbol, a warning. The commander stared into the dark void beyond the warship. Shadows seemed to move there, though perhaps it was only his imagination. Or perhaps not. "If there is one," he whispered, "there may be more. Watching, waiting, choosing their time." The bridge was silent. Every officer felt the same dread. If one ship could erase them with a single strike, then an unseen fleet would be unstoppable. The commander gave his final order for the night. His voice was steady, though fear gripped his hearts. All ships hold. Do not fire again. We wait. And we remember. And as the alien fleet held position, the warship floated quietly, like a shadow carved from the void. Its guns still burned red, its silence louder than any words. The truth was clear now. The humans had never been gone. They had only been waiting. The alien fleet floated in tense silence. 19 ships remained, holding position before the human warship that had destroyed one of their own with a single, merciless strike. The wreckage still drifted in the void, broken metal glowing faintly as it spun away. No one spoke. No one dared. Every officer on every bridge across the fleet knew the truth now. This was not a broken ship, not a drifting relic. This was power. Pure, deliberate power. On the command bridge, the crew looked to their leader. Their commander's face was pale, his eyes locked on the black warship ahead. Its red lines glowed steady, like veins filled with fire. Its cannons stayed aimed at them, unmoving, as if daring them to act. The second-in-command finally broke the silence. We cannot sit here forever. The fleet is restless. We must decide. The commander's voice was low, heavy. Decide what? Retreat and spread fear to every world behind us? Or attack and invite our own destruction? The crew shifted uncomfortably. The words were true. Retreat would mean shame. Attack would mean death. A young officer spoke nervously. Maybe it is only one ship. If we attack together, 19 against 1, we may win. The commander turned on him, his eyes burning. You saw what it did. One shot. One ship erased. Do you think 19 will fare better? The officer fell silent. The commander looked back to the warship. It had not fired again. It had not moved. It only watched. Waiting. Measuring. He felt as if it was testing them, judging them, deciding if they were worthy to leave alive. Across the fleet, comms flared with arguments. Some captains shouted for retreat. Others demanded an attack, unwilling to bend before humans. Pride and fear battled across the channels, each voice louder than the last. The commander raised his hand, silencing his own bridge. His heart pounded. He knew the truth. Whatever choice they made, the humans had already prepared for it. The second-in-command leaned close. Her voice was barely a whisper. If we retreat, at least some of us will live. If we fight, none of us will. The commander nodded slowly. He wanted to agree. But deep inside, another voice whispered, what if retreat is the trap? What if they allow us to leave, only so we carry their warning back to the Empire? Perhaps that was the true weapon, the story itself. Fear would spread faster than fire. Empires would tremble at the thought that humans had returned, stronger than before. The commander felt trapped, every path leading to defeat. Then the human warship moved again. Not much. Just a slow shift, turning until its massive cannons aligned perfectly with the command ship itself. The commander's breath caught. It was not aiming at the fleet. It was aiming at him. The message was clear. Choose. Now. Sweat ran cold across his skin. His crew looked at him, wide-eyed, waiting. The second-in-command's hand hovered over the comms. Your order, Commander? His mind raced. Pride screamed to fight. Fear begged to retreat. Logic whispered that both were meaningless. The humans already controlled the board. At last, he gave the order. His voice was hoarse, but firm. All ships. Fall back. Engines full. Do not engage. Do not fire. We leave. The words spread through the fleet. Engines rumbled to life, lights flared as ships began to turn. Slowly, carefully, the alien vessels shifted formation, moving away from the warship. Every eye watched the human ship, waiting for fire, waiting for death. But the warship did not move. Its guns stayed locked, glowing faintly red, but it did not shoot. It simply floated, watching as the fleet retreated. Relief mixed with dread across the bridges. Officers whispered prayers. Soldiers sat in silence. The commander kept his eyes fixed on the black shape until it shrank against the stars. When at last it was behind them, hidden by distance, the commander let out a long breath. His crew sagged in their seats, shaking with quiet fear. But even as they escaped, the truth weighed on them heavier than chains. The humans had allowed them to leave. Aloud, the second-in-command spoke softly, breaking the silence. Why didn't it finish us? Why let us go? The commander stared into the void ahead, his face grim. Because they wanted us to carry the story. They wanted us to tell our empire. To tell everyone. He paused, then added the words that froze the entire bridge. This was not victory. This was demonstration. No one argued. They all knew it was true. The commander closed his eyes. In the darkness, he could still see the red glow of human weapons. He could still hear the words of the message. You should not be here. He whispered the thought that had haunted him since the first moment. If one ship is this strong, how many more are watching us now? The bridge was silent. No one wanted to imagine the answer. Behind them, far across the void, the human warship drifted once more into shadow. Silent, patient, waiting. And in every heart across the alien fleet, fear spread like wildfire. The humans had returned. And they were no longer the hunted. They were the hunters.